The first question I wanted to ask you was that working with your husband, and I'm not asking about your personal life, but
yeah, right.
No,
you're like, how did you guys meet?
He said the same thing. I swear, I don't care. I mean, I do care, but anyways, the idea of the fact that he has, I would say, personal knowledge of what makes you tick and what can kind of get you to a place of getting that fear. Mm-hmm. How was that? I mean,
well, John likes to terrorize me on a daily basis, sort of in general. Well, I think we do obviously understand each other. We have a sort of secret language that inevitably comes when you've been together almost a decade. And I think this was such a personal film to us because it resonated so much. It was by osmosis. I think your own life experience is going to make its way onto the screen. He just knows, he's an actor, so he knows when to step back, when to help you out, when to give you direction, when not to. I think that was kind of thrilling for me to... Not that I thought he was going to be a dictator or anything.
Sure,
just, it was like a relief,
Yeah, but the idea of, playing an on-screen couple and then having, sharing that vulnerability or whatever, were you reticent about doing that? Or?
Well, I think that, we were nervous about it. Just because I think in some ways you are a slightly different person when you're at work. Yeah. And when you're in the zone or something, you've got to really embrace that about one another and... understand the stresses of working on set sometimes, and I think we did just so allow for that in each other, and so the scenes where the couple are together because they're separate for quite a lot of the film, they're quite anguished moments, a lot of them, and it was interesting looking at John during those moments because he looked rather unrecognizable to me, because he was playing someone who's so dissimilar to who he is and who I know him to be. So that was quite exciting, actually.
Okay. The idea of using kind of dialogue, or rather having a lack of dialogue, and I was talking to John and he said like the child actor said like you just have to be it when you don't have dialogue. You just have to be. Was that the case for you, yeah?
Yeah, I often find the films that are riddled with tons of dialogue are not necessarily more interesting to me than films that are more stark, like No Country for Old Men, and I think that is just so compelling and riveting to watch. So I think that Quiet Place really explores that. The dynamics between people, the unspoken stuff can be just as interesting.
Having seen it up close, literally your own husband directing, has it kind of tempted you to get behind the camera yourself?
I've also seen how all-consuming it is, that John had no life other than Quiet Place for about 2 years. So I don't know if I'm quite ready for that yet.
Yeah. Does it interest you at all?
It does. I want to produce, but I think I do tend to take on more of a producerial role now when I work on projects. I think I've been doing this long enough. I have a lot of ideas. I have a spirited opinion.
Sure.
People have to listen to me now.
Yeah, this is just get it
Come
in
on,
there.
you got to listen.
Do you find, working with this kind of thing like that, it's horror and it's very specifically horror thriller and what have you. Do you enjoy working in genre, or is it just a case of work is work?
No, it's not a case of that. I think that I haven't done many horror films. I haven't done any, really. And it's not a genre that I particularly run to watch because I'm just completely terrified of all of them. But yet this, and horror in general, like the way you can carve out new space for yourself and give people a different cinematic experience because you're dealing with a heightened environment, which is ultimately really fun to play with. And yet films like Get Out and I think Quiet Place, you're dealing with sort of social issues, traumatic issues, real grounded issues that happen in a heightened world. And I think that's a cool experience.
Yeah. Do you, just regards to, you mentioned No Country for Old Men, were there any other kind of performances that John kind of pushed you towards or you drew upon yourself to kind of look at?
We're a big fan of Jaws, and I think that this is really John's ode to Jaws in many ways. And I must have seen it 30 times. I think it's the most fantastic film. It's probably my favourite film of all time. And I think that was a big draw. Alien, he was very compelled to watch No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood. Films like that for the sort of scope and the cinematic look that he wanted. And then I know he wanted the film to feel classic. Yeah,
because it has that real kind of like really gorgeous, lovely colour to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to wrap it up there.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.